All right, so we are going to look at a full court press break here. Now, personally, this is one of my favorite press breaks. I actually think this is a very easy press break, and it's so simple that uh, it doesn't take a lot of effort for your team to learn this, and it kind of makes the defense look a little bit silly, to be quite honest with you, because of the fact that it's so easy to beat a press using this press break that oftentimes teams will just stop pressing after you score this many fast break points on them. Okay. So we call this press break pass out. And basically, it's pretty self explanatory. We're going to pass out of the press pretty easily, actually. So let's take a look. So in this diagram here, we have our blue as our offensive players, and the red is our defense. And basically what we're seeing here is the red is set up in a 1-2-1-1, kind of a diamond press formation. Typically, this is the type of press that you'll see, whether you're dealing with a U team or a high school team, where they're going to really try to, send doubles your way. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do for this, so let's give the ball to our inbounder here, is we want to find a way to get number 2 or number 3 open. So how you want to do that is up to you. A very simple way for them to do that is to split. If you want to split like that for them to just get the ball in, you could also have them, complete some sort of action where maybe they go the opposite way from each other, do a little zigzag or something like that. But either way, we want them to go into 2 separate directions here, just like this. Okay. So we're going to pass the ball into number 3. Now, after we pass the ball into number 3, we're going to have number 1 step inbounds. Okay. And basically, what we want to have here is number 1 as a connector between number 2 and number 3. Okay. So if we're looking at a diamond or a 1-2-1-1, what's going to happen here is number 2, most likely, and number 1 are going to come try to set that double screen here on our player, or not the double screen, double team here on our player, and use the baseline as a third defender to try to get a trap. Right. And then what's going to happen is the defense will likely shift, right? This player will try to, knock off this pass, right? And they're in their trap. Now, what a lot of teams will do is once they see this trap, they'll kind of just throw the ball up, then it gets intercepted, or they'll try to throw a really long pass and it'll get intercepted, or they'll just try to dribble, past the defender and it'll be out of bounds or something like that. We don't want to fall into that trap. Okay. So before we even see the trap coming, we don't even want to dribble the ball. We want to keep the ball in our hands. If the trap doesn't come, then we do want to dribble and we want to kind of bait them into trapping us right here. But before the trap is even set, we're going to swing the ball over to number 1, okay? The connector. Now, this is the key right here, okay? This is where it all takes place. As soon as number 1 gets the ball, we are going to swing the ball as fast as we can over here to number 2, right? And that's how we complete the press break, right? This player here is going to be, coming from this side where they're likely going to be, trying to set the trap over here where we had the ball with number 3. So they're going to be trying to sprint back over. They're going to be out of position, right? And already without even having to dribble the basketball, we can feed the ball right here to number 5, right? And now we have a 2-on-1 going this way between number 5 on our team and number 4 on our team, right? And again, that just makes their press look extremely silly, right? So if we go back here to see how that all went down, right? Again, number 1 is anticipating that, that double coming right here, right? That trap, and then the defense shifts. We're going to swing before the trap even gets set. We're immediately going to swing right here, right? And again, now the defense, they're going to be kind of shifted over this way to kind of block the trap. They're going to be off even. So you might actually get a huge advantage here with number, 5 or number 4 on red completely out of place, right? We get that 2-on-1. Now, one thing that you can, potentially come across with this is, what if number 3 here is kind of anticipating that swing, right? Well, if number 3, starts trying to intercept that pass, you can read that as, geez, I got a wide open lane right here. So again, you're going to beat these red players right here who are out of position, right? If this player tries to come up on you, boom, we still got that 2-on-1 right here. So, the key here is, kind of anticipate that first trap coming, bait them into making that first trap, but then we're going to pass out of it. We're going to swing the ball. We're going to swing the ball. we're going to push the ball, and then we're going to have a quick 2-on-1. Now, it's important to really important to really have quick decision making here and smart decision making. But if you do this a good few times, mixed with those two strategies that we talked about, you're going to make this press look silly, and teams are going to stop pressing you pretty quickly. Hold on one quick second, coaches. Before you go anywhere, I've got a couple free resources waiting for you from the Basketball Coaches Academy that'll take your practices and take your teams to the next level. First off, grab your complete guide to the continuous motion offense, which breaks down exactly how to teach your players to play the game, not just run plays. You'll learn what continuous motion offense really means, proven drills to build it, and how to run a motion offense continuously. We have lots of different things in this guide. We have video demonstrations, we have diagrams, we have descriptions, everything that you would need. If you want your athletes to develop real basketball IQ, this is the starting point. The second item that I have for you is the 5 must-have out-of-bounds plays for all ages. These are game-tested sets that you can run with youth or high school teams. We have baseline out of bounds, we have sideline out of bounds, all free for you. They're simple to teach, tough to guard, and each play includes clear diagrams and coaching points so your team stops wasting possessions. And lastly, I have the practice plan template. This printable practice plan template is the exact layout that I use to organize and plan every practice session. So you can plug in your warm-ups, skill blocks, team drills, and scrimmage notes so you can walk into every gym with a clear plan and zero guesswork. So I have these 3 free items for you. You can claim them using the link in the description. They'll be sent to you right away. Enjoy. Okay, so the next play that we're looking at here is a 1-2-2. So as we can see, we have players set up 1 right here, our inbounder, right? 2 right here. We have 2 players looking for the ball close to the basket in the backcourt, and then 2 players at half. So we're setting up in a 1-2-2. Now, again, we want to initially get the basketball into one of these 2 players that are closest to the inbounder. So how you want to do that, again, that's up to you. I personally love just having the players split. Some people like doing a little banana cut where we have a little cut this way to look for the basketball. When the first person here in line, then number 4 runs to the basketball. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Same as the last one. What we want to do here is just get the ball inbounds to one of these 2 players. So say we have them split, okay? We're going to get the ball into one of them. Say, again, it's the one on this side. What we're going to have then is the opposite side of the floor, the opposite player at half. They're going to sprint down to about the 3-point line and look for the basketball. So in this situation, it's number 3. So number 3 is going to sprint to about right here and look for the basketball. So they're going to get the ball back from number 2. The opposite side, the opposite player right here is then going to cut toward the middle and look for the basketball from number 3. They're going to receive the ball, and then we should have a fast break down the floor between these 2 players. Right? So you should have a 2-on-1 here potentially, or at least a 2-on-2. And we're going to get a wide open lane to the basket. If it's not 100% there for a layup, then you can just dribble outside the 3-point line and reset into your offense. That's fine as well, but you are going to get something here. So let's reset that again, maybe go to the opposite side this time. The numbers are not the same. That's not the end of the world, right? We don't really care about that too much. We just want to get the ball inbounds. You're going to put your players in each position that, are strong enough to be there. So let's say these guys split. We'll get the ball into the left side this time, right? In this situation, we're going to have this side of the floor come down and sprint and look for the basketball. We're going to get then the basketball right here. So then this player is going to sprint on that cut. We're going to feed the basketball into number 2, and then we have a 2-man running down the floor right here between number 4 and number 2 right here with the basketball for a little fast break. Again, if you want to use that for a wide open layup, that's fine. If the wide open layup is not there, or it's a 2-on-2 and they're clogging up the paint pretty well, dribble it outside the 3-point line, reset into your offense. So this is very similar to the last play, except we're lining up a little bit differently. This one is in a 1-2-2 instead of a 1-2-1-1. This is personally my favorite press break. There's a few reasons why. Number 1, I like the fact that it is simple enough that you can use it for all age groups. So this is something that you could use with your beginner teams who, are first learning a man-to-man press break, how to beat a press. They're, just getting their first experience with that, or you could use this with your high school teams, your older AAU teams. There's just multiple options within this press break. And that's what I like about it. It's pretty diverse, but it's also complicated enough that it, results in a few easy baskets for your team potentially, or just gets the ball in play. So let's take a look at it. So for this one, we are going to start in a line. We're going to bring all of our players down the floor near the inbounder. So the reason I like doing this, especially with a man-to-man press, is because, and again, this will work a lot better with a man-to-man press. You'll see why in a minute. But the reason I love bringing all four of my players down toward the inbounder when I'm dealing with a man-to-man press is because it brings down those defenders as well, right? It gets the defenders away from the basket that we're trying to score on and brings them all down to the back court. So then as soon as one of our players beats this press, you basically have no defense remaining. You have no more help that can come in to stop you. You basically have a wide open lane to the basket. So for me, a lot of my press breaks that I use when I'm trying to beat a man-to-man press involves bringing everybody into the backcourt. Now, for the longest time, as a coach, I was always against that. But, from running plays like this, I realized there are a lot of opportunities here to get a fast break, wide open layup once one of your players, gets past the defender, because there's going to be, like I said, no help there to stop them. So for this one, we're lining up all, like I said, in a row of four, close to the inbounder in the backcourt. We're not touching the front court right now. We're staying in the backcourt. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to look to get the ball in here to number one. That's going to be our first option. Now, what number one's going to do? Number one's not actually going to try to get the ball, close to the ball and maybe play a standard point guard role. What number one in this situation is going to do is actually try to get a wide open layup. So we're going to have number one cut into about right here. But as that's happening, number two is going to move in here as well. And they're going to be ready to set a screen for number one, as number one has a quick change of direction. Number two is setting that screen right here as number one does that, right? Number two is setting that screen for them after that change of direction. And number one is going to look to cut all the way down to the basket, right? And then typically with this press break, we want somebody with the powerful arm or the ability to throw long range passes to inbound the ball, because this is going to be our first option right here, is getting the ball into number one then for a wide open layup. Now, chances are you might only be able to get this option a few times. Teams will catch on to that pretty quickly and take that option away after you score maybe 2 or 4 points from that. But again, that's 2 or 4 points on the board that your team might not have had before. In a game where you could win a game by 2 or 4 points, that means a lot. So we want to get that opportunity, right? Number one's here, right? Let's look at it again. Let's reset it. Right, number two's here, number one's here. We're going to have the ball back in bounds. Number one is going to cut down here, and they're going to change direction. But as they do that, right, number two is coming down here to set that screen. Number one is gone. We're going to try to get a powerful pass in here to number one from our inbounder for a wide open layup. Now, the question is, what happens then if we can't get the ball into number one? Well, there are 3 more options on the floor back here in the backcourt that, we can kind of run pretty quickly. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And as that is happening with number one and number two, simultaneously at the same time, number 3 is going to go set a screen here for number 4. Now, how you want number 4 to come off that screen, if you want it to be set up here or down here, that's kind of up to you as a coach, what you want to do. I typically have them come set the screen this way. So number 4 would cut down here toward the ball. Okay, after number 3 sets that screen, they're going to take off because we want now a little bit more space in the backcourt. So you have to imagine number 1 is going to be about right here. Number 3 is going to be about right here, right? And we still have 2 players here in the backcourt. For number 2, after they set that screen for number 1, they're immediately going to change direction and look for number 4. So they're going to go set another screen for number 4 as number 4 is running. So number 4 is getting hit with 2 screens. So number 4 then is going to look for the basketball, and then number 2 is going to roll to the basketball as well. So you have 2 potential options here for number 4 or number 2. Whoever gets that ball in this situation, number 4, you can then try to bring it up the side, bring it up the middle, whichever you prefer. You could have number 5 cut down the middle. Again, that's totally up to you. But, in this situation of a man-to-man, it's going to be pretty easy for, our players to beat that at this point because, again, all these players are back here now. So if any of their defenders come up to help, right, that's an easy lob pass over there to number 1 or number 3. So, typically that wouldn't happen if it is a smart defending team. So they are going to bring, their defense pretty close to the player that they're guarding. And, for that reason, at this point, it's going to be pretty easy to get the ball up the floor in a man-to-man press situation. But again, the main options with this one, we want to try to look for that long pass here with number 1. If we can't get it, though, we have some options then to get the ball in here to number 4 or number 2 off of that roll. So this press break, this man-to-man press breaks, gives us a few different options here, which is why I typically like to use this one the most.